You resemble a mess. Her words sliced through the clatter of forks and knives. I stiffened. Every gaze shifted toward me. A flush crept up my throat. I'm Arya, 32, and I pour my heart into a homeless shelter. It gives me meaning. But to my mother, Diane, it's a pointless endeavor. She sees me as a failure. That Thanksgiving, I showed up late, still carrying the faint scent of hospital soap. Boots on, sweater draped, no trace of pearls or heels. Her eyes raked over me, critical, before she spat those familiar words, cloaked in 1,000 variations. Normally I'd shrink, force a smile, beg pardon for merely existing. Not this time. Not anymore. I stood tall. Where are you tuning in from tonight? Share your city below. And if you've ever had to fight to prove your value, hit that subscribe button. Part 2. A childhood of never enough. I grew up in Connecticut, in a suburb polished to perfection. Manicured lawns, practiced smiles. Our colonial home demanded flawlessness. My mother, Diane, enforced it. My father, Robert, anticipated it. My younger sister, Catherine, embodied it. Perfect grades, elegant poise, the ideal daughter. Me, I was clumsy, imaginative, untidy. At 10, I brought home a painting, vibrant with color, celebrated at school. I tacked it to the fridge. She glanced at it once. Sloppy, Arya. Catherine's is better. My artwork landed in the trash. At 16, I saved for a prom dress. Purple, shimmering with silver. I felt radiant. She sighed. That looks tacky. Everyone will know it's off the rack. Photos were snapped anyway. Later, I overheard her chuckling about it on the phone. At graduation, I wore my cap with pride, top of my class. She tugged at my hair. Couldn't you have tried harder? Catherine always looks impeccable. Her words never ceased, etching scars into my soul. Nothing I did sufficed. Dad rarely intervened. Diane, enough, he'd murmur faintly, then slip back into silence. Silence wounds as sharply as words. When I chose social work, their disappointment was palpable. Mom scoffed, "You're squandering your education." Dad shook his head. "You're too bright for this. Do something worthwhile." But to me, helping people was worthwhile. Rebuilding lives mattered more than prestige. Still, in their eyes, I was wasting my potential. Catherine became a dermatologist, her practice flourishing. She married a doctor, had 2 perfect sons, the family's pride. I was the letdown, the embarrassment they wished to erase. I thought I'd grown immune. That Thanksgiving proved otherwise. Harbor Hope became my refuge. Part 3. Harbor Hope, the ambulance, and stepping into the tempest. 40 minutes from their pristine suburb, I've spent 7 years at Harbor Hope, climbing to assistant director. It's not glamorous, but it's real. Meals, beds, fresh starts. Mom mocked it during her rare visits. When will you grow up? Dad buried himself in phone calls, offering gifts, but no shield. Catherine shone, thriving practice, magazine-worthy home, 2 boys. Dating couldn't withstand that contrast. Mark tried. One dinner broke us. "They drain you," he said, leaving before dessert. Silence settled in after. Grandma Margaret was my constant. She asked, listened, loved without judgment. When she invited us for Thanksgiving, I agreed, mapping the visit like a minefield. Safe topics, simple outfit, Mom's favorite wine, early exit if tension flared. Life ignored my plan. At 9:17 a.m., Marion collapsed. 62, 3 months sober, teaching knife skills. One moment joking, the next seizing. Our nurse dropped to her side. I dialed 911, cleared the room. I rode in the ambulance, clutching Marion's hand. At the hospital, I gave her history, signed forms. She faded, returned, faded again. I stayed until her daughter arrived from Hartford. It was 2 p.m. Catherine's texts piled up. Centerpieces, schedules, gripes. I replied, seizure, hospital, stable. No time to change. Hospital soap clung to me, my sweater faintly bleached. Driving into their neighborhood, lawns sparkled with wreaths and lanterns, facades flawless. I parked, catching my reflection, worn eyes, hair slipping free. Not the daughter she crafted. I rang the bell, not choosing my key. A guest, not a child. Catherine opened the door, pristine yet weary. Thank God she's impossible, she muttered. Shelter emergency, I explained. Seizure, stable now. She sighed, slipping the wine inside discreetly. The house radiated curated warmth. Grandma waved from her fireside chair. Arya, tell me about your work, she said. I exhaled, truly breathing for the first time that day. Then heels clicked down the hall. Mom appeared like a storm front. Cream dress, flawless hair, judgment sharp. Arya, you're finally here, she said. Next time, clean up first. Dad pressed a distant kiss to my cheek. I swallowed dread, hoping the night might pass calmly, but the air crackled with an approaching storm. As I entered the dining room, lightning felt imminent. Part 4. The dining room clash and the truth I unleashed. The dining room sparkled with crystal and duty. Perfect napkins, stifling silence. Mom raised her glass for the gratitude ritual. I'm thankful for excellence, she began. Catherine's practice, Richard's article. I skipped me. When my turn came, I drew a breath. I'm grateful for Harbor Hope, I said. This year, 23 found homes, 15 landed stable jobs. Really, Arya? Mom interrupted, her voice cutting like a blade. Must you bring those people here? This is family. My hand trembled. I set my fork down. I'm also grateful for a college partnership, I pressed on. Scholarships for residents, too. She leaned back, sniffing dramatically. What's that smell? Her eyes locked on me, verdict sharp. Arya, did you even bathe? You smell like trash. Silverware froze. Voices died. Dad cleared his throat. So, the glazing, his words faded. Grandma's gaze hardened. Catherine flushed, silent. Normally, I'd flee, cry in the bathroom, slip out quietly. Not this time. I'd like to share my day, I said. My chair scraped as I stood. At 9:17, Marion collapsed in our kitchen. 62, former nurse's aide, lost her home to a stroke. She seized on the floor. I held her head. Our nurse kept her alive. I rode in the ambulance, advocated for her, uninsured, stayed until her daughter arrived. I came straight here. No time to change. I smell like work, not garbage. And even if I did, do I deserve my mother's scorn? Years of suppressed words surged. For as long as I can remember, I've been wrong to you. Wrong dress, wrong hair, wrong career, never enough. Dad, your silence taught me that. Peace mattered more than your daughter. He looked away. Catherine's voice broke through. Faint. Mom, that was cruel. She doesn't deserve this. Mom's chin tilted, unyielding. I have standards, she said. I won't apologize. Grandma's voice cut like a chime. Enough, Diane. No one salvaged the moment, so I claimed it. The people you dismissed taught me dignity. Resilience you never showed. Respect I don't need your permission for. I sat, scooping mashed potatoes. Silence stretched, then shifted. Not fear, but something alive. Mom stared at her plate. Dad stared into nothing. The next course arrived, hands unsteady. Conversation tried to sprout. Nothing would be the same. And the next voice wasn't my mother's. Part 5, apologies, confessions, and a mother who storms out. Forks hung midair, uncertain. Dad cleared his throat. Arya, he said, voice shaky, unfamiliar. I owe you an apology. My chest tightened. The room leaned closer. I've watched this for years, he said. I thought I was keeping peace. Truth is, I was a coward. Mom's head whipped toward him. Richard, how dare you? He didn't meet her eyes. Our daughter deserved protection, he said. She got it from neither of us. Words pressed against my ribs. I stayed still. Uncle David spoke, startling himself. I felt Diane's disapproval too, he said softly. Not like Arya, but enough. Aunt Sarah clasped his hand. We should have spoken up sooner, she said. I'm sorry, Arya. Catherine wiped her eyes. Mom, I'm drowning too, she whispered. Anxiety meds. Last year's weight loss wasn't healthy. Mom blinked, stunned, her perfect daughter admitting flaws. I'm exhausted, Catherine said. It's never enough. Not for you. Not for me. Grandma raised her glass, not sipping. Diane, she said, voice firm. Your mother raised you with cruelty, starving you for approval. You swore to do better, but you've echoed her ways. Mom stood, her napkin dropping like a fallen banner. I won't be attacked in my own home. She looked to Dad for rescue. He stayed seated. Please sit, he said. We need to hear this. Betrayal flashed across her face, then iced over. She turned and walked out, heels striking marble like a countdown. Then silence. Caterers paused in the doorway. Dad nodded. Serve. Continue. Life pieced itself back together, unbidden. Plates arrived. The air felt lighter, cleaner. I tasted food for the first time that day. Salt, butter, human. Dad spoke quietly just to me. I can't undo the years, he said, but I can choose differently now. Catherine slipped a folded napkin my way. Her hand found mine under the table, warm, real, trembling. Aunt Sarah broke the tension with a story of childhood summers, the day Mom cried over a crooked seam. We laughed, too loud, too relieved. Laughter became breath, became presence. Grandma leaned close. Truth shatters porcelain, she said. Let it. We can eat on stoneware. Dad exhaled, surfacing. Family counseling, he said. I'll go, with or without your mother. It settled like furniture finally placed right. Catherine nodded. I'll find a therapist, she said. For me, not her. I looked at the table's fractures, light seeping through. I wasn't the glue. I was a person. Dessert arrived, pumpkin cheesecake, no commentary. I took a bite. Sweet, imperfect mine. When I stood to leave, no one pleaded or scolded. Grandma squeezed my arm. Keep that fire, she said. At the door, Dad stepped close. I'll call tomorrow, he said. If you're open. I'm open, I replied. A boundary, not a concession. Outside, the air carried frost and promise. I pulled my coat tight. Keys, phone breath. I hadn't won a war. I'd chosen myself. The next morning, I decide how this story moved forward. Part 6, coffee, boundaries, and a new kind of home. The cafe smelled of winter and bold coffee. Dad arrived, disheveled, eyes heavy. Your mother's at a hotel, he said. She needs space. I didn't speak to wound her, I said. I spoke to stop the pain. He nodded, fingers fidgeting. I kept peace, he said. I abandoned you instead. We talked 2 hours, his theories, her childhood, the toll of perfection. I can't erase the years, he said, but I can choose differently now. Start with honesty, I replied, and respect my boundaries. December brought a new table, shelter lights, paper plates, laughter. Grandma came, radiant and wry. Catherine came, mascara bold. Dad came, truly present. There, I met Michael, a new volunteer with a steady voice and kind eyes. Coffee sometime? He asked, drying a tray. Only if you're okay with messy lives. I'm an architect, he smiled. I rebuild for a living. We spoke of patterns, boundaries. He didn't flinch or fix. He listened. Spring bloomed. Catherine found a therapist, named her anxiety aloud. Ate for survival, not performance. I practiced small acts of courage daily, no appeasing texts, no late-night guilt calls. Yes to sleep. Walks, quiet joy. In April, Mom's card arrived. I'll visit Harbor Hope Tuesday, 10 o'clock. I agreed. On my terms, short tour, limited time. Work came first. She arrived in a blue coat, hair perfect, eyes cautious. This is Marion, I said. Volunteer, knife skills teacher. Marion smiled. You must be proud, she told Mom. She changes lives. Mom's lips curved, tight but genuine. Arya's always been committed, she said. In my office, she studied the board, thank you notes, schedules, worn photos. You seem fulfilled, she said, almost startled. I am, I replied. Not your choice, but mine. She nodded once. Board dinner next month, she said. Bring the architect if you want. Not an apology, but an opening. I took it without yielding. Fall arrived. Michael and I settled into a small house, second-hand table, mismatched plates, enough. A year later, I hosted Thanksgiving. Shelter friends, safe family. Grandma's laugh grounded the room. Catherine came without her boys, her boundary. Dad carved turkey with steady hands. Mom sent flowers, a polite card, no performance, no threat. I placed them by the door. Marion raised her glass to second chances and chosen family. We clink paper cups like fine crystal. I looked at imperfect, trusted faces, felt space expand in my chest. Mom may never be the mother I needed. I'm no longer the daughter who pleads. Love without respect cuts like a blade. I choose boundaries. I choose myself. And I'm not alone. Peace isn't their approval. It's a vow to yourself. Have you drawn lines with family? Share in the comments. If this resonated, subscribe and share it with someone who needs it.